The Pottu. Pottus are not only worn by Tamils, but they're also worn by many South Asians. They come in different shapes and sizes, but what's the significance of the Pottu, and how might you be wearing it incorrectly? Here's what you missed in Tamil class. Let's start with when we first see the Pottu. Tangible evidence of the use of the Pottu can be found in the Sindhu Samavali Nagarikam, or Indus Valley Civilization. The 5,000-year-old civilization was found in the Indo region, which is modern-day Pakistan and India. During excavations done at a Harappan site, terracotta figures of women with Kungumum in their hairline was found. It was noted that married women in Indus Valley Civilization probably applied Kungumum to the center of their hairline, as we still do today. Now, this is a good spot to answer the question, is wearing a Pottu only for those who practice Hinduism? No, wearing a Pottu was never attached to any religion. In fact, you see, about 5,000 years ago, there was no such religion as Hinduism. We don't see the word Hinduism being used until the 1770s by the British, which was only about 250 years ago. So is everything we call Hinduism made up? Of course not. It can be seen that various aspects of indigenous people's way of life was absorbed into what we call Hinduism today, which is probably why Hinduism is referred to as a way of life and is practiced so differently from person to person. Think about it. If someone came up to you and told you to change the things you do in your daily life, you'd probably just laugh and carry on until you had a certain reason to change, because of benefits given to you or strict implementation to make you change. But let's look into that another day. Okay, so we've established the tradition of wearing pottus is very old. Now what? Let's see where we place the pottu. Many people wear the pottu between their eyebrows, in the middle of their forehead, and into their hairline. Which one is right? Well, technically all of them. Each of these spots are actually different Varma pulihal or Varma points on your face. Varma points are points all over the body where vital life energy is highly concentrated. Each point can connect to multiple organs, nerve endings, and parts of the body. Stimulation of Varma points can increase energy flow and cure diseases to selected areas. Varma points are actually part of Varma Therapy, which is used in the Tamil Siddha system of medicine. Perhaps the practice of wearing what we see as merely decorative pottus around the eyes also stemmed from stimulating Varma points on the face. Let's go back to wearing the pottu on our forehead. How are we wearing the pottu incorrectly? Pottus come in different shapes, sizes, and colors. Traditionally, in the Tamil community, we commonly see black pottus and red pottus, and really anyone can wear them regardless of their gender. You may be familiar with the karuppu pottu or black pottu being worn by babies and children. There are various methods in how you can make these pottus in your home. For example, using vasambu or javarisi to make the karuppu pottu is very common today. The red colored pottu can also be worn by anyone, but it's commonly known to be worn by married women. Traditionally, we don't say red pottu, we call this Kungumum. Kungumum is a powder that comes from the Kungumapoo, and the saffron from the flower in powder form is what makes Kungumum. Now, you may be familiar with saffron because we use saffron in our cooking. It's also very commonly used for medicinal purposes in our community. For example, you might have gotten milk with saffron in it if you have a cough and cold. Today, it's actually the most expensive spice in the world. If you do a quick search on the internet, you can see countless of published articles by scientists and researchers who discuss the wonderful benefits of saffron, from aiding in memory impairment, treating tumors, fertility issues, and even for hair loss. Typically, Kungumum is made from turmeric, saffron, and lime, although again today, there are many different ways that you can make this red powder without even using saffron. Now, have you ever noticed that when a woman becomes a widow in the Tamil community, she typically doesn't wear Kungumum or pottu? Some women don't wear it for the weeks or months that they're mourning the loss of their husband. Or some never wear a pottu again. Or some wear a pottu on their forehead but never in their hairline. It honestly depends on their personal preference, but why do you think they stopped wearing a pottu? Is it just to signify that they're no longer married? Perhaps, but there also seems to be a deeper meaning to this as well. If you look up the benefits of wearing a pottu on your forehead, you'll find many of these Varma points or pressure points increase energy flow to your body, increases concentration, and calms your mind. And this is due to stimulating your eyes, head, brain, pineal gland, which we refer to as our third eye, as well as our pituitary gland. Our pituitary gland, simply put, plays a vital role in regulating body functions because its hormones control most parts of the endocrine system. Now, this point at the top of the head, where many married women wear kungumum and widows don't, is a point that's linked to the hypothalamus. One of the main things the hypothalamus does is that it signals the pituitary gland to stimulate or inhibit hormone production. Now, stay with me, this is about to get interesting. The pituitary gland has two lobes, the posterior and anterior lobes. All we need to know is that the posterior lobes secretes hormones that are made by the hypothalamus, and the anterior lobes produce its own hormones. Okay, so what's so special about that? So, the pressure point where women put their kungumum into their hairline once they're married is to send energy to stimulate the hypothalamus and pituitary gland to push out and regulate the production of hormones that stimulate production of sex hormones and egg production to make a baby, stimulate contractions and dilation of the cervix to have a baby, and stimulate milk production to feed a baby. So it appears stimulating this point aids in the process of motherhood. Stimulating points to send out hormones to make a baby when you just lost your partner is not that helpful. So this is a reason why Tamil women stop wearing kungumum after the death of their partner. But again, today whether people stop wearing kungumum forever or for a short period of time is totally based on individual preference, based on the fact that there are other benefits associated with these Varma points outside of motherhood-related ones. It's wonderful that traditionally we use natural substances to make our pottus. And now, when I say we've been wearing the pottu incorrectly, I'm speaking to the fact that today most people wear sticker pottus. And of course they're convenient and they come in various designs and colors, but have you ever thought about what it's doing to your body? This is what I mean. Part of any substance that we put on our face gets absorbed into our skin. Of course, you probably already know this. That's why we wear creams and face masks, because we want to absorb the nutrients into our bodies. Now, we've established that we wear pottus on Varma points, which are highly concentrated energy centers, kind of like major intersections for all the energy channels in our bodies. By wearing sticker pottus repeatedly on these points, over time, glue is being absorbed into our body, and perhaps it's preventing our body from functioning as they should in some parts. This isn't something I considered until recently. It's one thing not to wear a pottu, but to wear one and sort of feed our energy center with glue rather than something healthy doesn't seem like a good idea, at least to me. Moving to a natural substance for your pottu doesn't mean that you have to lose the beauty and artistic expression that comes with wearing a pottu. For someone who is so used to wearing a sticker pottu, it just takes patience to draw pottu designs yourself. Think about it, we all struggled at first to apply eyeshadow or perfect the winged eyeliner. I think it's easy to think aspects of our culture are boring or weird because it's not praised by the West. But today we saw something that we thought was just a fashion statement is actually used for our well-being and health purposes. And I feel like I barely scratched the surface. I spent a lot of time really trying to understand something as simple as a pottu. If you engage with this video, it'll help me know that someone else also found this information interesting and helpful. Please subscribe to What You Missed in Tamil Class, and I will see you in the next video.